Welcome back everybody. In today's episode I want to show you 5 After Effects plugins that I actually use. So in the last couple of years I tried a lot of them and I realized that there are 5 scripts and plugins that I use every time on every project, and I just can't imagine working in After Effects without them. But before going on with this video, I just want to let you know that unfortunately these plugins are not free. I really wanted to include some free ones, but I just couldn't find any of them to really help me in any way, so I didn't want to throw them here just for the sake of the video. So yeah, these plugins cost more or less, but they save me a significant amount of time, so I thought I should mention them even so. Alright then, with that being said, let's start the video. So the first one is called EaseCopy, and it's actually a plugin that lets you copy in the exact shape of a value graph or of a speed graph. So let me explain better. I have a position effect with 3 keyframes applied to it, and if I go in my graph editor, I have the speed graph here. So this is my speed graph. I played with these handles a lot to get something like this. And if I want to apply the exact form of a graph to another animation, I cannot really do this in After Effects. So in this plugin I can just select again my position, and then I can press copy here in this EaseCopy panel. By the way, if you don't see this panel, you can just go to Window and then select EaseCopy. Alright, so I've just copied the ease of the graph, and now I want to create some keyframes for my oval shape. So I can put a keyframe here and another one at the end. So in the middle I just want my shape to be here, let's say. Alright, so if I select my position and I go in my graph editor, you can see that this graph is actually the default one, doesn't have any smoothness, it looks kind of squarish. So if I want this graph to look exactly like this one, all I have to do is again select my position for the oval shape, and then I can just press the ease button, and now the graph is actually identical with this one. So that's pretty much with this plugin. Let's now go to the second one. So the second one is called Move Anchor Point, and it's self-explanatory, I guess. So it lets you move the anchor point of a shape wherever you want. So let's create a random shape. And now you can see that my anchor point is in the middle because of my After Effects settings. If your anchor point is not in the middle, you can just go to Edit, then Preferences, then General. And then you can just check this box, Center Anchor Point in New Shapes layer. Alright, and now let's say I want to modify my shape a little bit. So I just reshape its path by moving some points, and now it looks something like this. Now you can see that the anchor point is still there, it hasn't moved at all. So I can just press this cross button from the middle and the anchor point just moved in the center, or I can just move it in the top left corner, in the top right corner, wherever I want. It's pretty useful with rectangular shapes. So let's say I want to rotate this from this bottom left corner, and if I rotate it, it rotates from the center, and I can just quickly switch this anchor point, and now it rotates from the bottom left corner. Or I can just move the anchor point to the top right corner, and again it rotates immediately. So yeah, it really saves a lot of time. So that's pretty much with this plugin. Let's now go to the third one. But before going on, I just want to say that if you feel like you got some value out of this video, consider giving it a like, or if not, just watch till the end and I'm sure you will find something useful. So the third one is called GifGun or GifGun, it doesn't really matter, and it's actually a plugin that lets you export your video directly to a GIF. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, and you just select your composition and then press the Make GIF button. But before that, we have some settings here. You can just resize your GIF to another size, obviously. You can change its frame rate, its colors. You have some presets here. I really don't know the differences between them, but lossless seems to work anytime for me. Another cool thing is that you can export your GIF like a PNG format, so without the background, just select this Keep Alpha button. You can save your video along with the plugin, and yeah, let's press done. And now again, let's select your composition just to be sure, and press this Make GIF button. It will automatically export your video. Now the video is ready and we have some info here. Here it comes. Just wait a little bit. we have the percentage now, and it should be ready in a couple of seconds. Alright, now it's ready and we're just waiting for it to open it. Yeah, and there it is. So you can see that we have some noise and some mix of colors, but the plugin handled the situation really good. So that's it with this plugin. Let's now go to the fourth one. So the fourth one is called RubberHose, and it's a plugin for animating the movement of characters. So in my case, I've used it to animate this walk cycle of my character, and it was pretty simple to use. All I had to do was go here in this build section of this plugin, and then I had to choose an option. So because I wanted to animate the movement of my legs, I chose the hip ankle option, and then I pressed the button New RubberHose. And this created for us two null points. Let me just enable them. So the first one is this point for the ankle, and the second one is this point for the hip, and these 2 points actually behave like joints. So if I take this one and I try to move it, you can see that the entire leg moves naturally with it. So all I have to do is to animate the position of this joint. So you can see here the first keyframe is for when the foot is down, and the second keyframe is for when the foot is up. And then I've looped this animation with a simple looping expression. And if I go here, you can see that the RubberHose effect has a lot of options. So the first one is for the length, the second one is for the radius. Also we have one for the realism, and of course for the bend direction. You can bend it forward or backwards, however you want. Another thing I did was to create the style of the leg. So how I did this was, again with this plugin, I went in the style section and I chose an option. So I guess it was the type ends option, and then I've just pressed the apply style button. So here again I can modify the width of my pants, the taper, I can adjust the length, also the cut height and all of the other settings. So that's pretty much all I did. So you can obviously modify a lot of things, you can create super cool movements, and if you want a full tutorial on this, just let me know in the comments. Now let's go to the last one. So the fifth one is called Newton, and it's a plugin for simulating motion with real life gravity. So I have this composition here, and inside it I have all these layers, but it's actually just 2 balls, 2 ramps that hold the balls, a text and a ground, and that's all. So I don't have for the moment any effect applied to it, and I want to simulate how these balls would fall and what happens when they hit this text and also the ground and so on. So I can show you a quick demo on how this plugin works. So I can go to composition, Newton 3. And now you can see that the shapes aren't very smooth or something, so I can increase the precision of that. So before starting with other things, I can just increase the mesh precision to 10, so now I have a smooth shape. Then I want to identify the type for the ground and also for the ramps. So these are actually static elements, I don't want them to move or something, so I can just select all of them and I can change the mode to static. And now I want this text to be another type, which is dormant. So let me just select dormant. And so what dormant type is? Well, this text behaves like a static element, like a static object, but the moment is hit by something. So in this case, the moment is hit by one of these balls, then it will have gravity, and so it will behave like one of the balls. So let's just select, yeah, I've already selected dormant type. Now let's also change some settings for the ball 1. So I want the bounciness to be 0.5 for example, and for the ball 2 I want it to be a little bit tougher, so I will increase the density to 2 instead of 1. So now I can just press play and look at that, how the simulation is made in real time without me having to do anything. Yeah, you can see how the text was actually, let me just rewind, you can see how the text is static, it doesn't fall or something, but the moment it's hit by the blue ball and also the orange one, then the gravity is applied to it and it starts to fall like a real object. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I can now render all of this and it will be rendered into another composition. Alright, it's done, and now I can open the new composition, and Now that it's rendered, let's watch it one more time. Yeah, pretty cool, I say. So yeah, that's pretty much all. And again, if you want me to make a full tutorial with one of these plugins, just let me know in the comments, and I talk to you soon. Bye.